Hello dear students, welcome to the online education of class 6 science. Dear students, in the previous class we have completed the ninth lesson and also we have completed the exercise part of ninth lesson. So dear students, today let us start with a new lesson, that is lesson number 10, motion and measurement of distances. So under this chapter we are going to study the different kinds of movement, that is we call it as motion, and measurement of various distances. Okay, how the distances were used to measure, so in the previous times and now. Okay, what are the modern methods of measuring the distances, that we are going to study in this lesson. So dear students, first let us learn about the motion. Okay, so how the motion used to take place in the previous times and now, so that we will discuss the introduction part here. So here there was a discussion was going on, okay, among the some students. So during the summer vacation class, so how the children, different students of the class, what they have done in the all summer vacation, that they were discussing. So at that time, so some children, they told that they had visited different places during the summer vacation. Some of them had gone to their house by train. Okay, later on they got the bus, then they traveled finally to their village by bullock cart. Okay, here three kinds of vehicles they used. Okay, so some other students told that so he had traveled to any other place by aeroplane, and someone spent most of the days traveling in the flagship trips. Okay, so like that, or someone said I traveled in a boat. Okay, so like that the teacher was asking the questions to every student. So later on every student told different means of transport. Okay, so now see, so in the articles, newspapers, you have learned that most of the wheeled vehicles, they were used in the spacecraft mission. So I think you have learned about the ISRO. So nowadays they are launching a number of satellites to the international space. Okay, so wherein, so recently we have Mangalayana 1, Mangalayana 2, so that we have seen. So what are the Mars orbiter mission, spacecraft, so all that we have studied. Even the NASA is launching many satellites to different planets. Okay, so these all vehicles, okay, they which are reached, moved to the soil of Mars, or someone is sending to the sun. Okay, someone is sending to the moon. Okay, Chandrayana we say. Okay, so they are all taken up by the spacecraft all the way to Mars. Many spacecraft agency are taking place nowadays. They have use of what vehicles which are made of wheel. Okay, in the meanwhile, we will let us remember, so what kind of vehicles were used in the ancient times. Okay, so here that we call it as a story of transport. Okay, so in the previous years, long ago, so people did not have any means of transport, so hence they used to have, or they used to move from one place to another place only on their foot. By walk they used to travel a distance, whether it is 10 or 20 or hundreds of kilometer. They used to take 1 day or 2 day, 3 day, like that number of days they used to walk by on their foot. Or either they have a choice to walk by a foot, or else they have a chance to move to other place by using vehicles, no sorry animals. Okay, if they suppose they are carrying some goods along with them to go to another place, so at that time they can't carry it there on their back. It's very difficult for them to carry for a long distance. They used to carry those goods along with the animals like horse, donkey, such animals. So for transport along with land routes, they also found some water routes. For that, boats were used in the previous days, ancient times. So how the boats were made in the previous time? So boats were made by using a simple logs of wood. They used to just tie the logs of wood together, and those logs of wood together, they used to be tied, okay, with some kinds of threads, okay, ropes. So that was a simple boat they used to prepare. Nowadays even you can see in the Dakshin Kannada, South Canara district, you can see that Teppa we say. Okay, such kind of boats were used. So that logs of wood were used. So they have a hollow cavity which could be made. Okay, so which could be made of logs of wood having a hollow cavity, which can be used for the transport at the previous time. Later on, the people learnt to put all the logs of wood together different pieces of logs of wood and give shapes to the boat and make it in the shape of boat. Okay, what boats you can see, no? So that is made later on, they got the idea. So by using logs of wood, how can I make the shape of boat as they've prepared? So these shaped boats intimated the shapes of animals living in the water. See, this boat shape is made by seeing the shape of the animals living in the water, fish shape. Okay, so how see in the front and back you can see flat, it is there because front and back it is pointed. Okay, why? Because it can easily move by you can by removing the, I mean, spreading the water, it can go forward like that. Okay, so this is what the type of motion used to take place in the water. So later on, the very important invention was took place, that is invention of wheel. So invention of wheel made a great change in the modes of transport of the world. Okay, so the design of the wheel is improved over thousands of years. It was improved thousands of years ago, the design of a wheel. So once the invention of the wheel is made, so totally the means of transport has been completely entirely changed, and it has been made very simple and faster, speeder. Okay, animals were used to pull the vehicles that moved on wheels, for example bullock cart. Okay, so the animals were used to pull that vehicle which is having a wheels. Okay, animals were used to pull that vehicle, so which is having, that is, which moves on the wheels. Okay, wheels were put into that. So until the beginning of 19th century, so there was, the people were still depending upon the bullock carts or animals power. Okay, animals for carrying the goods, or to move from one place to another place, to transport from one place to another place. So later on in the early 19th century, the invention of steam engine introduced a new source of power. So in the 19th century, there is invention of one more took place, that is steam engine. When the steam engine was invented, it is a new source of power. Then the people realized, so instead of manpower or animal power, we can use the engines to make the vehicle to move. So once the steam engine is improved, invented to as a alternate source of power, so they thought of using the engines. So really roads were made, okay, for steam engine. Okay, railroads tracks were made to make the steam engine to move. So carry the carriages and wagons. Okay, so later came automobiles. Every kind of automobiles came into act. Okay, so motorized boats, motorized ships. Okay, so they all used as a means of transport in water. So early 19th century, they saw a lot of development in the aeroplanes. See, earlier there was simple aeroplane was made, very simple one, only one or two can sit. So later on, they were later improved to carry the passengers, to carry the heavy goods, electric trains, monorails. So supersonic aeroplanes, they were all improved. Spacecraft, these all improvements took place in the 19th, end of the 19th century. So now, so in the 20th century, contribution is much more is there. So improvement of the carrying the passengers and goods in the aeroplane, electric trains, bullet train, okay, metro train, okay, spacecraft, these are all in the 20th century. So here you can see the figure 10.1. You can see the different kinds of means of transport, and you can arrange them, place them from the earlier to recent one. So look at the diagram here, you can see all cycle is there: bus, bullock, train, ship and aeroplane. So these are the different means of transport. So dear students, I hope you understood the story of transport, and tomorrow let us continue with the next concept. Thank you and have a nice day.